Hey, everybody, welcome to Ronline Report. Today's guest, you know this man so well. Love having as my partner in crime at contest coverage. He is Milos, the Mind Sarcev, just back from the Legion Sports Fest in Reno, Nevada. How are you, Milos?
Hi, I'm good. I was surprised that you're not there. I was waiting for a report and everything, but it didn't happen. But anyway, as you know, I was this time again as a coach involved very much into the show. I was treated perfectly with the Chris Mines, and really the show was at a very high level. Expo, everything else. Everybody was there, like Chris Premier and Dexter Jackson, Sean Roden, you name it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I almost went. I came that close to going. Oh well, no worries. But yeah, the big news, man. 2 weeks before that show, we were both at the Olympia. We saw Regan Grimes play second to last, and I was not impressed with Regan. I love his shape and his structure, but he was so flat to me. I know the seats weren't great, but we still had the monitors to go by. And then a few days later, I think you made a post, or he made a post, that you were working together, and every day when you would post a picture of him, he was looking fuller and leaner. He was like transforming. And by the time he got to Legion, man, it's not the same person I saw just 2 weeks ago. And a lot of people loved his physique. They preferred his physique over Sean Clarida, who ended up winning. But a lot of people thought maybe, Regan has a legit chance to win that too. So I'm going to go back to the beginning. How did you start working with Regan?
Okay. First to tell you, I agree with you at Olympia. I wasn't impressed with him. I was expecting much more. I love his physique. I think he has the greatest structure and the shape, aesthetics. I was a fan for many, many years. Yeah. So anyway, one thing that you also didn't realize, you were not at this show. Many times when you look at the live stream, and videos and pictures, it's just not the same. And I noticed this more and more. So in person, Regan was way more impressive this time. But do you remember when you wanted to send me that link to have a little interview with Regan before the show? That was like Thursday or something. Yeah. And I told you, let's wait until Monday after he wins.
Yes. Yeah, you did.
I was really believing that he can win, because for me, having such a diamond in the rough, if you just bring it polished and a little bit bigger, a little bit fuller, it would leave an impact. And I didn't care who is competing, really, with the exception that when I heard, little giant killer Sean Clarida is competing, I was right away like, oh man, because the judge is going to be put in predicament. What do we do? And really, what do we do? When I talk to Chris Aceto or Sergio or anybody else, they didn't really think that once he stands next to somebody that is 280 pounds, 290 pounds, he can really be competitive. And, judges thought differently. And I'm not saying anything about wrong. They know what they're looking for. So for them, that was the best physique of the day. Since 2020, when I've seen Sean winning 212, I was a huge fan. For me, there was no question. Even if you remember, you and I were battling, should Kamal repeat? For me, Sean won hands down, just like Ronnie Coleman. He was like miniature Ronnie Coleman. Did so much hardness, so much fullness, roundness, separation. I mean, he dominated. But the fact that he's narrow, and when you look at the some comparison photos, really half the size of even Regan, in the shoulders and lats when he opens up. Right. That was the question: are they going to do the same thing what they did in Olympia and let Derek Lunsford beat him? Sean was in superior condition. There was no question. So I knew that going into the show, Sean is going to be most conditioned guy. He is always ripped to pieces, hard, dry. And I had a chance to see him actually Friday in a gym. I was passing by the posing room, didn't have doors. And I didn't plan to go see him. I was passing by exactly when he was posing. And oh my God, when I saw him, Jesus, because he was fully pumped. And I don't think we have ever seen fully pumped Sean. I mean, he was bursting out of his skin. There was like striation upon striation, like, oh my God. So I even texted right away to like someone, Chris Aceto. I said, I mean, Sean looked completely nuts, but it's still Sean. Well, you see, Sean won. Now, to go back to Regan, when I saw him on the Sunday after the contest, and I told him, if you remember, Regan, I came to you a couple of times as a fanboy. I was taking pictures with him as a fan, including Olympia, at least meeting and meet and greet. You know, so what can I say? For me, you didn't reach your full potential. You have that structure and shape. Everybody's just like, oh my God, if he just brings it, what is going to be? And again, for whatever reason, he didn't really deliver at Olympia. So look, we have less than 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. But if you're going to come here and do everything I told you, and I lay down the plan, and I can say this in front of you and everybody else, this is pretty interesting. I posted on my YouTube, Regan is putting everything, every single word I said and prep what we did is there. No secrets. It was just like, I don't need to thank you. So there was no secrets. There was a plan. He needed to get a little bit leaner. He was not ripped to pieces. To say, okay, now we're going to have to really deplete you, cut the carbs down to 0, increase his fat so his caloric intake is, close to his requirement, but he only has the fuel now from fats. He can burn fat, burn fat, burn fat. I don't like this, when people throw in some carbs, as soon as you throw in some carbs, it doesn't matter if it's 150, what he was doing. Any carb increases blood sugar, insulin is released, and it inhibits the fat burning. So when you have a 7 to 10 days, you don't have enough time, you must be extreme and you must go with the, zero carbs. Wow. So this is what we did. And I just increased his fats dramatically. So we trained twice a day. We did 2 cardio sessions a day and 2 posing sessions a day. And I'm glad that you noticed that he changed daily. What people don't realize, they say, oh, he's like young guy, he's not polished and needs maturity. He has a striation upon striation from the back, from a low lats to the mid traps to the upper traps. I mean, feathers going all over the place, Yeah.
Someone's calling the phone.
Excuse me. Don't use the Mac, please. Huh? Are we on?
Yeah, we're good.
Something happened, like say, somebody's using a Mac.
It's good. We're good now.
Okay. So I've seen his back striated completely. Then I've seen his glutes striated completely. Hamstrings, like, oh my God. Like, you can see everything. Semimembranosus, semitendinosus, anatomic chart.
Right.
Okay. Full shoulders, striated chest. So it's like, okay, what do we need? I said, I'm gonna, have to, do extreme, and I'm gonna refill you. So we did it's day by day on the YouTube. You can see it.
Wow.
When we did the carbs back in, we did the 850 grams of carbs that one day, and another like 500 next day. And that was enough for me to see how much glycogen he stores. Obviously, that's not good test. It was not enough, but I had to go right back into 5 more days of 0 carbs, deplete some more to get him ready to load. Unfortunately, in that process, I kind of overtrained him on a Wednesday. I could see like I went a little bit too far, so then when we started to carb loading on Thursday, midday, he was really drained. So this was not the most effective way, but by Friday afternoon, he was good. Saturday, even better. And Sunday, you've seen it. It's way improved. For me, we delivered a little bit drier package in the pre-judging and a fuller package at the finals. Yeah. And it seems like judges like better his full look on the finals. Me personally, I wish he was still a little bit drier, but there would be not enough to beat condition of Sean Clarida. So it was really contest for a second place. And this is how we went. For me, I'm going to say this again, and I said this publicly. Regan Grimes can be Mr. Olympia. There is no question about it. If you really, honestly, anybody who's looking at this video say who has a better aesthetics and shape. Who? There's not a single person on the horizon in the IBB. You know, with the that shoulders, waist, small joints, muscle quality, and such. Yeah, he needs to improve a little bit more chest, a little bit more arms, a little bit still wider for his height. He's like 6 foot. But let me tell you, he's so committed to do it, and we're going to work on this project.
Cool. So I'm curious, was there a weight difference between the Olympia and the Legion? Did he weigh more or less?
He was, I posted this also, he was 254.4 backstage in the morning and 2 pounds heavier in the evening. And he was, you know, he didn't have a scale backstage at the Olympia, but he says he was about at 253. Okay. It is just shifting a little bit water. There is extracellular, intracellular. So if you hold more in a muscle, obviously you're going to look much fuller. And if you have under the skin, you're going to look much softer. And you and I agree. And I repeated this to him like 10 times, which probably was annoying him. You know, you didn't look big at Olympia, because when people start talking, oh, maybe he should switch to classic physique. I'm talking classic physique. He's 30 pounds over his classic physique limit. But I know where coming from, they would want to see the filled up and fullness. And I think they brought it, you know, much better version of him within 2 weeks. This is the, you know, period of time that we had. And I can only imagine what he's going to look like in 1 year.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because people were arguing with me on the YouTube comments saying Regan doesn't need to be bigger, this and that. I said, sitting where I was sitting, when you're a little further back, when you're right up close, very close to the guys, it's hard to, you get overwhelmed by certain things like muscle shape, detail, whatever, and it's hard to see how relatively big or small someone is compared to other people. But when we're back where we were, a little bit further back, you could see he didn't have exactly, he needs more size to be competitive. And I believe with that shape, with that structure and the condition, you know, if you can get him in better condition than what we just saw, yeah, there's no reason he can't be top 5 at the Mr. Olympia. There's no reason at all.
Maybe top 5 next year. And
that's what I'm saying, top 5 next year.
And then, yeah, and listen, we have that project. And I mean, look, I gave a 3 years plan, possible in 2, and he wants to do it in 1. I mean, he's so committed. Look, I mean, with respect to everybody, let's discuss something. What would you say if Sean Clarida was next to Big Ramy?
I'd say he's not even as big as one of Ramy's legs. So.
Yes, but on the basis of completeness, hardness, conditioning, you know, thin skin, muscularity, muscle popping, you know.
He destroys Ramy in all those categories.
Yeah.
But Ramy doesn't have any muscle, doesn't have that detail like Sean. The deep cuts and striations.
I appreciate it. He's 175 pounds. And then I had a little text going on with Sean Ray. Sean, you know, was like, oh yeah, he is like 180 pounder, you know, winning, and you know, like weight is not anything, you know, weight doesn't mean anything. So I said, remind me, Sean, when did you beat you know, Ronnie? I mean, not Ronnie Coleman, but Dorian Yates. You know, if it didn't matter, you know, of course it mattered. You and I discussed Olympia, and we thought that I thought that Harry could possibly win the show. Yeah. You know, because he has enough size, crazy conditioning, nothing missing, everything was there, way out conditioned. You know, the top 2. Oh yeah. I mean, that was next level conditioning, and he didn't get the nod. Right. Sean Clarida out conditioned Derek Lansford. You know, again, way out conditioned him. Derek has a striated glutes and hamstrings, right? Yep. You know, but the complete hardness, dryness from both front and back and sides, there was no comparisons. So it's look, I love the fact that judges are open-minded to give, you know, smaller guy like this, but then brings the question, why do we have 212 division? I mean, you know, so
why do we need it? But you know, we're not going to get rid of it.
But let me tell you, another 212 guy Tonio Burton.
Yeah, fourth place. He looked great.
He actually placed third at the finals.
Oh wow.
I don't know. Oh yes, straight third place from every judge.
Oh wow. He beat Sergio.
Yeah, if you look at the score sheet, I encourage you. And I like it. That means the judges are rewarding, condition size, the condition, structure, shape, not just size.
Yeah.
And look, for me, Tonio looked excellent. I think he's much better competitor, more competitive in open division than 212. Mm-hmm. He was also super impressive backstage. Like, oh my God, look at this. Everything there in great condition, full round, V-tapered. He's going to be a problem. And I'm glad that the judges recognize him and push him all the way, he placed fourth. At the finals, he was actually third.
Do you happen to know, was he heavier? He had to be 212 the Olympia.
Oh, yeah.
Was he like 220, 225 at this?
Yeah, I forgot. I don't remember. I talked to his coach and him, super pleasant people. And he said, yeah, he was struggling to make 212. And that brings that, if you struggle to 212 or classic physique, many guys, right, you sacrifice your natural shape, aesthetics, and like George Peterson to make before classic physique, he would lose legs in process. Yep. Many people, when you're on caloric deficit and so starving, first thing that goes, would be, probably your weakest body part.
Right.
Unfortunately. So he basically beat Sergio at the finals, which is kind of shocker. Sergio was going for a redemption from Arnold Classic. He wasn't happy there, to bring better conditioning here. And honestly, I love Sergio, but I didn't see it. He was about the same conditioning, so it's definitely not conditioning of, like, let's say 90s, but we always talk about, or 212 division that they bring. So they just go for bigger, fuller, and mass is just going to overpower. I think there was a talks between him, I think Justin Rodriguez, like, oh, well, if I lose to a 100-pound smaller guy, I retire. And then Justin saying, like, I retire with you too, right? In sense of, like, that wouldn't be impossible. I knew this very, very possible because Sean Clarida is so goddamn compact and complete. Right. The only thing that you can really see when he do this most muscular pose and his shoulders shrink to nothing. Yeah, when he does this one. Yeah, that one. I encourage you to look at the pictures from the show. Yeah. So Sean was, I could probably say it, his all-time best. because yeah, for me, he left that impact. Standing in a lineup, he was the number right next to the Max Charles, and he didn't lose any size comparison. Like, whoa, look at that, And then, like, how good condition makes you look so much bigger. Yeah. So I asked Sean, what do you think? Are you going to do the open? And he's 212, but he's going to gladly do open division, contests when there's opportunity. Jake Wood was there. And I said, like, look, Jake, how about if somebody's qualified for both 212 and open? Yeah, let them do both 212 and open. They're two different shows, 2 different days. Yeah. They're going to be contest ready anyway. Kind of. Remember when they had Hadi 2019 qualified for both shows and he had to choose one. Yes. That's something I think that IBB should consider, especially after what happened this weekend. That 212 guy, not 212 guy, 175-pound guy, 174. So he would be under 175. Won the contest clearly. Every judge saw him first place in the pre-judging and finals. That leaves that question mark. What should we do? I love it. I love that they're competitive and they're being compared to their structure and their square inch density and muscularity.
Oh, I think the fans would love that. It would get more ticket sales, more excitement, more pay-per-view. Everybody would love to see that. I'd like to see, I'd like to see Lunsford jump into an open show, win that, and do both too. I think that would be, how great would that be to see Lunsford and any like a New York pro in the open or something.
I mean, put it this way, Derek won 2 weeks ago. He beat Sean, and if he showed up here, he would be, a possible winner as well. With judges, choosing what they want to see and directing it, and it's good. It's good to know. I have no complaints. It's just like we are all fans, and then we analyze, and what can possibly happen. And Chris Cicito would say like, okay, it's impossible for Sean to be competitive in this lineup, right? Because he's half the size, 100 pounds. So what do you do? But look, your eyes are drawn to him. He's so round, popping, nothing missing. It just, he's narrow that could be, exposed. And that's what Derek Lunsford did.
Yeah.
And really, of course, I would always be biased coach if I said that Regan could beat him. I think that Regan could definitely beat him. I was actually expecting him to beat him, but just from a look at the lat spread from the front end, Regan is very competitive on back poses. That's Sean. He has the sided glutes and everything else, and Regan does too, and the hamstrings and the sided lats, and way wider when he opens up front lat spread. Just see that. See the front lat spread, back lat spread. See the most muscular poses, and you're gonna see like whoa difference.
Talking about Regan, right?
For Regan, for Regan, in comparison to Sean. But
Regan has a great back, though. I think he's got one of the best backs. Especially when you see him full like that in really good condition. He's got one of the better backs in the IFBB, I think, right now.
Yeah, absolutely. But let me touch again Sergio. Sergio just needs to get tighter, leaner, drier. I understand that he was saying that last time, he's not soft for a reason of not being in shape. He's soft for a reason of being flat. And, if this is the reason, flat, you can correct in 2 days,
right?
After the contest, and they say, yeah, I was flat. But then if you repeat the same conditioning 2 weeks later, honestly, backstage, I felt like he was so off. When I saw him on the stage, I said, okay, it's not so off, but that's not the conditioning that it can beat, want to win the show.
Right.
So that's just my friendly criticism. Nowadays, not too many people can take a criticism.
No,
I'm just a fan of the sport and analyst. I like to be friendly with everybody and tell them what I think they should improve. Do you think that Sergio Oliva at the 280 pounds or plus needs more size or really fullness?
No.
And how would he rate if he was bone dry, striated? So these kind of things.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for Martin Fitzwater.
Yeah, the young guy. Yeah, Martin.
Yeah, Martin. We saw him. I saw him in Texas. You weren't there. He plays Fort. I said, okay, on the shape and structure, he could, but he was off, and he was more off in this show. Wow. He was more off. Again, I don't know what you guys can see from a live stream. Really, right. I actually seen a live stream that looks much worse than in person, but then I've seen some videos that looks much better than what I've seen on the stage.
Yeah.
And let's just put it this way. He didn't nail the condition. I saw him posing with Jay Cutler and Dragon's Lair and, doing his prep. So what I would, say, yes, just find the formula. Find the formula. I think he wants to, take some time off and put more size so it's going to be undeniable. Guys, definitely has a shape, but I would think when you're in this kind of condition, so close to the contest, a ready physique, and there are a couple of shows around, why don't you just correct it and pass it? Very well, I did 72 pro shows. I did every week. why to gain that experience. If I always ask Regan, Spartan, what is your profession? Right? Okay, so if you're a bodybuilder and that's your profession, you're supposed to compete. Every pro contest is the opportunity. Why would you not compete? Especially when you're already ready, you're down, body fat is where it's supposed to be, or you can just dial in a little bit more. These kind of things. So Martin definitely is the future. He has a great, bodybuilding career in front of him, but he should focus on nailing condition now.
Speaking of doing more shows, Regan won Romania Muscle Fest last year. He's on the flyer, but they just, that's always the previous year's winner. That's coming up in, I think it's like 3 weeks away now. 2, 3, yeah, it's like 3 weeks away. Is Regan doing the Romania show?
Yeah, he's not planning to do that show. He's planning to do the Egypt.
Oh, wow.
Now the Egypt Sunday, yes. The problem is that he needs to go to Dubai muscle show and work the expo a few days, and already started quite bad today with the flights being delayed and canceled, and so he couldn't get the connection. Next connection was from Germany or something, and so now it's going to be a little bit rougher. Flight. But then again, as I told him, you're a professional. He prepared all his meals. He has all the schedule, and he's going to definitely do that show. And Toronto Pro sounds very good because that's his home turf, and it's like 7 weeks from now. So we are still debating. I am not much, as you know, off-season guy thinking you need a whole year to make a difference. Right. I don't believe in off. It turns me off because I'm off the diet. I can eat this. I'm off. I don't have to do this. I'm off. You're a pro bodybuilder. That's your profession.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? Train, eat, sleep. Okay. Do the business because nowadays everybody does the business. But I am into putting quality weight, not just any weight. People blow up 30, 40 pounds. Do you really need it? Controlled, slow, muscle gain. So I think that Regan, of course, he has some options. We'll see that one, but would probably do the Honor Classic. Oh, wow. We qualify also for Olympia next year, and we plan to be on Olympia stage every year and be a factor.
So you just brought up an interesting point about putting on the sides gradually so it's quality muscle instead of trying to pile on all this weight. Because he went to Kuwait, I want to say it was like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago at this point. He went to Kuwait and he wasn't even there a month. I think he was there 2 weeks or 3 weeks. They were trying to get him so big, so fast. I think they wanted him to get up to 350 pounds, in a couple months. And he came home. He said, nope, no, I'm not doing this. How much big? He said he's about 250, high 250s at Legion, right?
He was 254.4 at pre-judging and 2 pounds heavier at the finals. So and that is compromised dehydrated weight.
Right.
So you're 265, 270 easily, normally, and we're not going to do anything crazy, but every workout is going to be muscle building workout. So every nutritional planning has to be covering all the bases, no compromises. If you have, this is what, chain of thought for everybody else. If you have all the nutrients, enough calories at the proper time during a day, nothing is going to be compromised. Compromises start when you're missing some nutrient and something else have to convert into that is missing. And then there is timing is all screwed up, and there is a period of time when you're under caloric and period of time when you're over caloric, and it's just a little bit of careful planning. You can structure it, and then each and every day you can check mark good day, good week, good month, good year, right? But when you off season, looking through the fingers and say, okay, I can see this and now I don't. So when I don't see it, I don't see the forest from this one tree, who cares? No, be honest yourself. I'm saying this for everybody to improve, especially pro bodybuilders. You have that few years to make a living and impact. This is when you should put all the eggs in that one basket and do it 100% or don't do it at all.
Yeah. So is he going to be training? Is he moving to Vegas to train with you? Or
yeah, he's going to come back to Vegas as soon as Kuwait is over. Yeah. Wow. The only thing is for Kuwait, I have several other athletes competing. Right. I have a Samsung.
Egypt.
In Egypt, yeah. I don't know.
We all got Kuwait. We got Kuwait on the brain.
yeah. Same thing. I told him twice today. I don't know why my brain is Kuwait. I've never been there. So yeah, he's coming next day. I mean, he is super motivated. Now, when I see somebody that is so motivated, zero complaints, let me just imagine 2 workout sessions a day, 2 45-minute cardio sessions a day, 2 posing sessions of 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, right?
6 workouts a day. Oh, on 0 carbs.
On 0 carbs for 5 days straight. And my type of workout that is not a picnic,
I saw that leg workout you just put him through. And was he on 0 carbs that day?
Yeah, we did it. So, but let's talk about the rest. Joe Seaman played 6, and he was very, very good condition. I think he could have actually be top 5, honestly. Yeah. And then Stanimo, the Stan
Delongu.
I can never say his last name.
Yeah, Delongu, something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Delongu, I think. I don't. Stanimo, yeah. Was he 7th? I think, right?
He was 7th, and he was former classic physique. He has the classic look. I still think that you go either. I mean, when you're classic, you try to bring the conditioning. So the classic structure with great conditioning can, bring you. You're not going to out muscle the guys. So for me, he was, maybe a few pounds too heavy.
He started off as a men's physique pro with the board shorts, Stan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then he went to classic, and now he's open. That's crazy. I think he's put on like 40 pounds of muscle, going from stage to stage.
Incredible. I mean, he has what it takes. He just, when I'm strategizing, when I see for each guy, what would I rather do? Some guys are better fuller. Some guys are better, drained, dehydrated, somewhat empty glycogen, stuff like that. But when you have a structure and a width, you can maybe compromise, a little bit on a width. But when you don't have a fullness, thickness, you can't compromise it. You got to have that fullness on the stage. Otherwise, you're going to be flat as a pancake, right? Yeah. And then I would like to say Max Charles, Patrick Tour, and Cedric McMillan, right? The front runners going to this show that were potential winners, right? None of them really made an impact because of, conditioning. So I don't know what happened to Cedric after prejudging, that he didn't show up at the finals, but there was just not Cedric we would want to see. Yeah. Many of us agree that he's one of the greatest potentials in a whole IBB, that if he would nail it, bring 100% of conditioning with this kind of shape and size, he could legitimately be Mr. Olympia.
I mean, he won the Arnold Classic, and he wasn't shredded when he won the Arnold Classic by any means.
You see, these are kind of things that if judges give you the victory of some crazy big contest like Arnold Classic, they let you get away with it. Why would you get any better than that? For that reason, when I was speaking about, what judges should do, condition, not condition, when somebody is slightly off and you still award them, right? They're going to think they can get away with it all the time. But then again, when somebody is so pleasing, aesthetic, and big, and fairly conditioned like him, what do? Not give him a victory? I mean, I wouldn't want to be the judge myself, because Yeah, and then I would have to stick with one plan and, judge everybody straight across the board in that manner.
Hey, I don't want to get too into the judging, but people are commenting, well, it's not consistent. They use the Sean Derek at the Olympia example. Derek beat Sean for the 212 Olympia title because he was bigger and wider. But at this show, the Legion, Sean beat two guys who were much bigger and wider than him with Sergio and Regan. So, but why does it have to be? I don't see why the same judges, because it's opinion, it's subjective. Why does it always have to be the exact same standards if you have different judging panels, different groups of athletes? That would be, to me, that'd be even worse if it was always exactly the most ripped guy wins or the biggest, that would be worse as far as I can see. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, we watched 212 for many years. Let's say Flex Lewis was so dominant, so great that they were suggesting go to the Open, right? And then we had a Hadi Chupin going to 212, and he was so phenomenal. It's okay, would you consider, Open? And then 2019, Hani Rainbow and him decide not to do 212, but do the Open. And he placed third. For me, he should have won that contest also. Wow. So I'm on with the judges. When somebody's so complete and tight and conditioned, reward him. But especially in recent times, as you know, with let's say dehydration being a dangerous implementation of contest prep, and judges and officials talking that maybe they should ease up on that one. That brings the picture. Okay, so you don't need to be so dry and so conditioned. It is really big puzzle. What to do. Of course, as soon as I seen a Sean in a posing room in that gym 2 days before the show, I was like, oh my God, you can't get any better than that. I mean, conditioning, not just nailed, but nailed and framed and hanged on the wall. I mean, this was like, Jesus. And like I said, he was completely full, after training very, very hard 2 days out of the show. I watched his training. He doesn't do the, picnic weight. He was doing a super heavy and everything. And on another note, all of us bodybuilders, when we see how Sean Clarida trains, we all have to respect it. Oh, yeah. I mean, he takes the dumbbells heavier than himself.
He does,
right?
He does. I saw him do 200s in one video, or they were 185s, or it was more than he weighed. Whatever. I think they were 200s. He was pressing them. That's 400 pounds.
It's inhumane strength, commitment, and passion for it, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I had to give him my 2 cents, I see him about 6 months ago at the Flex Lewis's gym opening. I said, Sean, if I can, as an older guy, can tell you something, because I was back in the day invincible. Oh, I can train, I can do heavier, I don't care. What's going to happen? My body is already strong, so I can keep pushing more, all out.
Right. Your
body is not designed to take the pounding like this year in, year out. And injury is just in a matter of time. It's not if it's going to happen. Your tendons, ligaments can handle the same for many years, especially then, like if you saw him doing 170s. Okay, but then next time 180s, and then 190 pounds and 200 pounds. What is going to be next? I mean, when I talked to Ronnie Coleman about it, right? I said, Ronnie, you did so goddamn heavy. I said, well, it was light for me. So I said, really, okay? It puts in perspective. Yeah, I mean, he could do 10 reps with this kind of weight. So maybe it's relatively light, but, we all know how many injuries he has. Yeah. Look at the longevity of Dexter Jackson, right? He was training smart. And this is just one of those things. Yeah. If I can give my opinion on that one, if you do a couple of sets, super heavy duty style, you have already accomplished it. As Mike Menzer, Dorian Yates, is, the principles that would do that. If you can nail in one hit, why keep hitting? So you give that kind of stimulation, okay? And now after this, continue with the other kind of stuff and the training. Save yourself, go for polishment. I still think that all the guys, they're just lifting weights and they're not really contracting like crazy everything, right?
Yeah.
They're never gonna be a same shredded, striated, high quality bodybuilders as the guys that do.
I agree. Yeah. Well, I have to thank you so much, Milos, because you came directly from the airport to your home and we did this, and you got to be, I know when as a coach, you don't sleep much on those weekends. You get like no sleep for days. So you must be exhausted. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Very much appreciate it, Milos.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to tell you, when I got your message in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Regan and I were packing to go to the airport. And I was already discussing with Regan, okay, when we get to the airport, let's do the interview with Ron Harris. I was considering, right? Yeah. But we were kind of late to get there. I said, okay, we can still do it. And just when we were about to do it, they found out they lost that the flight is not canceled, it was delayed for whatever hours.
Yeah.
And then they're not going to make it a connection flight and they have to rearrange everything. So I was going to actually give you a call from the airport. I didn't. I just came back here.
Better because the airport sucks for these interviews because every 30 seconds, flight number 22 is now boarding. It's irritating. So no, this worked out great. I'll get Regan.
And I want to give a plug to the old school because I see that you are wearing. As soon as I came in at the door, there was a package, and I got the new shirt. So let me display it. Right?
The Coca-Cola logo.
Yeah, the old school bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Old school bodybuilding on Instagram. That's probably, if you just put that there, you'll find it.
Yeah. All right.
And you don't have to be old to get old school clothing.
And I have every t-shirt they make. So.
And you were responsible for getting me this one for free at the Olympia. You walked me over to the booth, and what's the owner's name? I can't remember his name.
Scott.
Was it Scott? Scott, very nice guy.
Clarida.
Yeah, and he hooked me up. He gave me a shirt. I think he gave me one for my son. Yeah, what a great guy. So I'm also just want to close by saying I'm so happy you're working with Regan. He needed somebody to take him to that next level because I've been watching this kid for a good 3 or 4 years now, and I was like, man, he could be so good. He just needs a little more size and fullness because the shape, everything is there. He just needs that a little more pop to his muscles, condition, and I already see him 2 weeks with you. I already see progress.
It's different. Did you see interview and posing when Jake Hunter was in the room and giving him some instructions?
No? I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, it is on both his and my. Jake Hunter spent like half an hour minimum, watching him. Yeah. He is super impressed with Regan, but he does say like, you got to put 15, 20 pounds, for Olympia title kind of physique, because this is what we are talking. But 5'11 3/4 and 255 already, right?
Yeah.
When you think about it back in the day, I mean, Lee Haney was same height, 5'11, okay, and he was 245, I think, and he was a monster.
Yeah,
right?
He was the biggest guy of your era, of that era, I should say.
Yeah. But I do agree when you stand next to Big Ramy and you see this overwhelming size, then what do? Yeah. I disappeared for a second, right?
Yeah, we're good. No, you're back.
There was the low battery. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you go, man. I appreciate you taking the time, and you gave us some great insights on the show because I wasn't able to be there. Now I feel like, okay, I know what happened because Milos told me. So I always trust your opinion. I love hearing.
But what did you see? I wanna ask you now because I want to turn the microphone to you. If you watch this show, what did you see?
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the stream.
Not at all.
No.
Okay. So
I just saw a lot of pictures on Instagram, but no, I didn't get this stream. So no opinion. I have no opinion.
Okay, fair enough.
So
I do,
right, man. Yeah. So thank you, Milos. Appreciate it. Milos Sarcev. Follow him on Instagram it's just your name, right? At Milos Sarcev.
Yeah.
Milos, and the YouTube channel. Awesome new content. He's got some great workout footage with Regan on his channel, Milos Sarcev, right here on YouTube. Check that out. I can't believe now that I know he was on zero carbs, my mind is just blown because you worked him into the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, check that out, guys. We appreciate you all watching. Like the video, comment, do all that stuff, the thumbs up, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.